Montana gold hunters Freddy and Juan just pulled off the impossible. $7.4 million worth of gold buried beneath an old, forgotten riverbed. This isn't a rumor. This isn't a myth. This is one of the biggest Montana finds in decades. The story starts with whispers, old maps, and miners who swore the vein was lost forever. But Freddy and Juan didn't just follow the legends. They chased them, digging where others feared, braving wild rivers, collapsing tunnels, and rival prospectors lurking in the shadows. Every scoop of mud, every glint in the sunlight, every fist-sized nugget pulled from ancient clay layers screamed one thing. The riverbed was hiding a fortune. They battled toxic silt, unpredictable floodwaters, and equipment failures, working long, grueling shifts that would have broken lesser crews. And when the first haul hit the scales, shock, awe, proof that the lost riverbed was more than gold. It was a Montana miracle. Now investors are buzzing, locals are celebrating, and historians are rushing to document the find. Hidden veins hint at even more treasure waiting beneath the surface. Freddy and Juan aren't just striking gold. They're rewriting Montana mining history. Hit like, subscribe, and watch as this epic discovery unfolds, bucket by bucket, nugget by nugget, revealing secrets that have been buried for centuries. Freddy and Juan hit the wild riverbed with one goal: find what everyone said was lost forever. Rumors of a hidden Montana vein worth millions, they're real. Old miners glare and whisper warnings about men who vanished chasing the same dream. Freddy scans the riverbank. Juan flips through cracked old maps and satellite overlays. They're not guessing. Tiny flashes of quartz, odd erosion lines, hints of what could be buried for centuries. Every sign screams, dig here, and these two are ready to go deep. Morning kicks in, and the team sets up fast. Dredges locked, hoses ready, pumps humming. Juan cross-checks historic records, while Freddy debates. Go slow and steady, or hit the riverbed like a bulldozer. Crew gets safety briefings, riverbed terrain warnings, emergency drills. No excuses, no hesitation. Night falls. The river talks, splashes, shifting rocks, whispers of danger. Everyone freezes. Freddy smirks. Juan adjusts the lights. They're not scared. They're alive. First haul hits. Flecks of gold in muddy water. Tiny, but undeniable. Freddy traces a partially exposed vein. Gold glittering under his hands. Juan checks sediment layers. It's been untouched for centuries. Floodwater surges suddenly. Hoses whip, machines teeter, adrenaline spikes. They fight the river, not the legend. By midday, first bucket is up, $150,000 in raw gold. Morale explodes. Everyone knows it's real. This riverbed is alive, dangerous, and overflowing with potential. The riverbed pushes back hard. Tunnels collapse, toxic silt rises, shale slides threaten to bury machines. Suspicious figures lurk on distant hills. Freddy improvises, welds hoses, reinforces pumps on the fly. Juan maps unusual mineral veins, hinting at even bigger treasure. Sweat pours, muscles ache, every scoop a gamble. And then, gold shows its teeth. Hidden channels open. Nuggets the size of fists, smaller dense chunks, every bucket heavier than the last. Juan calculates they could be sitting on over $7 million. Nightfall transforms the riverbed into a battlefield. Floodlights slice through the darkness. Dredges hiss and groan, and Freddy maneuvers machines like a maestro, orchestrating chaos. Juan logs every nugget as shadows shift across the mud. Some gold trapped beneath layers machines can't reach, others hidden in pockets only human eyes can detect. The first full bucket under the lights gleams $500,000, a warning and a promise all at once. Every scoop, every flash of gold electrifies the air, but the river is far from cooperative. The excitement sharpens into peril as sudden tremors shake the riverbed. Rock and shale threaten to collapse. Toxic silt rises and pumps stall while dredges jam. Freddy slams reinforcements into place, welding, adjusting, bending machines to his will, while Juan scans walls for weak spots. Rival prospectors move like shadows across the hills, watching, waiting. And then, among the shifting mud, veins of gold glint larger than they ever imagined, taunting, beckoning, and daring them to push further. Sweat drips, muscles strain, every move a calculated gamble. The river isn't giving up easily, but neither are they. Days of digging reveal secrets hidden for centuries. Finally, a channel opens, a hidden artery of gold running beneath layers of silt and stone. Nuggets flash like lightning, fist-sized, dense, impossible. Freddy scoops one up, weight shocking, eyes wide. Juan counts and calculates. The haul could break $7 million. The river responds, sudden spring melt surging through channels, water racing like it's trying to swallow the prize. The crew moves fast, machines groaning, arms aching, minds sharp. Shifts stretch 18 hours long. Sunlight baking backs, while floodwaters churn at the edges, but every scoop brings more treasure. Excitement crackles like static in the air. Every nugget tells a story of centuries hidden beneath Montana's wild rivers. Night falls, but the hunt doesn't stop. Floodlights blaze over the riverbed, shadows twisting, machines hissing and clanking. Freddy guides dredges with precision, every movement exact. Juan tracks every nugget, logging, photographing, weighing, documenting the gold like it's history in motion. Shadowed pockets reveal caches no scanner could detect. Old veins no one touched for generations. First full bucket under the lights gleams, over $500,000 in raw gold, shining, alive, impossible to ignore. The river hums, the machines groan, the crew moves like a single organism, synchronized, relentless. The vein stretches, hidden channels curling deeper, teasing more riches. Tension rides every wave of water, every swing of the dredge. Sweat, mud, and gold mix, the scent of danger thick in the air. Freddy wipes grime from his brow, eyes scanning the next pocket. Juan nods, already planning the next scoop. Nothing slows them. Every second counts. Every discovery fuels the fire, and the riverbed keeps giving, layer by layer, bucket by bucket, a treasure buried for centuries, finally, violently alive in their hands. The channel twists unexpectedly, narrow and jagged, forcing machines to angle sharp, hoses contorting to reach the hidden veins. Every extraction feels like a battle. Mud grabs, pumps cough, gears scream, but the nuggets keep coming. Small clusters explode into larger chunks, fist-sized, heavy, impossible to ignore. The crew cheers, adrenaline surging, but no one relaxes. The riverbed is unpredictable. Every surge could erase days of work. Freddy recalibrates pumps. Juan directs the scoops, moving like a well-oiled machine. Night deepens, but the gold glows brighter under the floodlights, as if teasing them forward. Hidden veins split and fork, revealing layers untouched for centuries. Juan discovers small flecks of platinum intertwined with gold, a surprise that pushes the value higher, igniting whispers among the crew. Freddy digs, sweats, strains, muscles screaming, moving as if the gold itself is pulling him forward. Each scoop is heavier than the last. Nuggets embedded in silt so thick they require every ounce of force and skill to extract. The riverbed is alive, twisting, testing, daring them to fail, and they refuse. Every move, every lift, every shout echoes through the canyon, machines screaming, mud flying, gold flashing like fire in the night. By midnight, the crew has established rhythm. Buckets arrive filled with nuggets large and small, over $500,000 in a single haul. Documentation is meticulous. Photographs, weights, coordinates, notes on vein structure, sediment layers, historical context. Every piece matters. Shadows dance over the water, machines grind, the river hisses around them, but the gold keeps coming. Relentless, unstoppable. Freddy and Juan push through exhaustion, the thrill of discovery outpacing fatigue, danger sharpening every sense. The riverbed has yielded its first major bounty, but whispers of deeper veins, hidden caches, untold riches keep them moving, eager, relentless, hungry for what comes next. Every pocket dug, every nugget unearthed, every flash of gold in the floodlights feels like centuries of secrets finally breathing alive again. The river churns, machines groan under strain, and the night stretches long and tense. The vein is real, the treasure massive, and the hunt only beginning. But excitement carries its own peril. From the canyon edges, shadows move like predators, silent and calculating. Freddy spots them first, eyes narrowing, pulse spiking. Tools vanish, hoses, pumps, even cameras jammed or smashed, and the crew realizes the river isn't the only force testing them tonight. Reacting with swift precision, Freddy and Juan fortify their positions. Traps reset, cameras rewired, equipment relocated, every precaution doubled. Juan discovers encrypted notes scrawled in decades-old prospector logs, hinting at hidden caches thought to be myth. Tension coils tighter with each passing moment. Every scoop, every bucket of gold carries the weight of unseen eyes, the looming threat of sabotage, and the reminder that this river doesn't surrender its secrets easily, and neither do they. Suspicious figures linger on the canyon edges, shadows moving like predators. Freddy spots them first, eyes narrowing, pulse spiking. Tools vanish, shovels, hoses, pumps, cameras jammed or smashed. Someone's watching, testing limits, trying to steal hours of sweat and gold. Freddy and Juan react fast. Traps set, hidden cameras rewired, equipment moved, every precaution doubled. Juan uncovers encrypted notes scrawled decades ago in old prospector logs, hinting at hidden caches even locals thought were myth. Tension spikes, voices snap, tempers flare. Their rivals aren't just nearby. They're actively hunting the same prize, circling like wolves. Every scoop, every bucket of gold carries the weight of the eyes that follow them. The threat of sabotage hanging in the air. The vein refuses to yield quietly. Buried clusters explode from quartz veins, fist-sized nuggets jamming the dredge buckets. Platinum flecks glitter between gold, tiny surprises pushing the total haul higher than anyone imagined. Hidden pockets keep appearing, tucked behind layers no scan could detect. Treasure that waited centuries to be touched. The riverbed hums with energy, alive with potential. Crew members grunt, sweat pouring, as machinery groans under extreme strain. Every dredge, pump, and bucket pushed beyond limits. Excitement mixes with exhaustion. Each haul feels like history in the making. The gold doesn't just shine, it dares them to take it. Spring rains crash down, turning channels into wild torrents. Currents rip through partially dug pockets, threatening to wash away machines, hoses, and priceless gold. Freddy barks orders, every command precise, eyes scanning the surging water. Crew fights to secure equipment, dragging pumps, anchoring dredges, hauling buckets as the river fights back. Amid the chaos, a hidden sub-channel emerges, a vein untouched, teeming with nuggets. Juan dives in, calculating angles, weighting every scoop, balancing speed with survival. Rescue maneuvers become high-stakes ballet. One slip and hours of work vanish beneath raging water. The crew moves like a single unit, synchronized, unstoppable, muscles burning, hearts racing. By dawn, the floodwaters calm just enough to stabilize the site. Mud clings, machines are battered, but the riverbed has yielded treasures unimaginable, caches saved, veins exposed, secrets teased into the open. Sweat, gold, and adrenaline mix in the chilly morning air as Freddy and Juan glance at the haul, knowing this night proved both the danger and the rewards of Montana's hidden riverbed. Hidden veins stretch like veins of fire through silt and rock. Buckets overflow with nuggets, platinum glinting like sparks, quartz veins shining white against dark mud. Each scoop a battle, each haul a victory. Shadows from the past seem to linger, whispering warnings, but the crew presses on. Rival watchers retreat, slowed by the storm and the crew's relentless pace. But the tension never fully disappears. Every nugget collected is a declaration. This riverbed belongs to those who dare to push harder, dig deeper, and risk everything. Machines scream under strain, pumps choke on mud, but gold pours into buckets, unstoppable. Sweat streaks faces, backs ache, hearts hammer, but no one slows. History isn't waiting, and neither are they. The river swells unpredictably, water clawing at reinforced trenches, twisting hoses, threatening to bury weeks of work. Freddy adjusts, welds where necessary, reroutes machinery mid-operation. Juan coordinates, logging every nugget, noting vein structures, sediment shifts, hidden pockets exposed by the flood. Nuggets embedded in quartz sparkle like stars trapped in rock. Platinum flecks hidden in mud add unexpected value. Every scoop a jackpot. Crew shouts, laughs, curses, all energy channeled into survival and collection. The night is long, adrenaline relentless, veins relentless, gold unstoppable. By the end of the storm, the haul surpasses expectations. Buckets brimming, veins exposed, caches documented, hidden sub-channels discovered, pockets previously unseen, revealed. The river, once a threat, now serves as a guide, pointing the way to deeper wealth. Machines battered but functioning, crews soaked but unbroken, the site stabilized just enough to continue. Every challenge, the rival threats, the collapsing tunnels, the floodwaters, only sharpens their skill, their determination. Each nugget pulled from silt and quartz isn't just gold, it's proof of survival, daring, and the relentless pursuit of Montana's hidden fortune. The crew catches their breath, eyes locked on the riverbed that had tested them at every turn. Machines hissed, mud dripped from buckets, and glinting nuggets sparkled like captured lightning. Rival shadows had retreated but lingered at the edges, whispers of observation carried into the morning air. Freddy and Juan exchanged a glance, knowing they had earned this ground through sweat, wit, and unyielding instinct. Every nook, every hidden pocket, every twisting vein still promised secrets, but for now, the river had yielded its bounty. As dawn crept over the Montana mountains, the team moved to sort and weigh their haul. Buckets and crates glimmered under the pale sunlight. Freddy lifted a fist-sized nugget, its weight affirming reality. This was no dream. Juan meticulously lined up scales and assays, checking totals again and again. The sum, $7.4 million in gold, nuggets preserved for centuries in clay layers untouched, was staggering. Locals pressed against fences, investors leaned in, cameras flashed, and whispers rippled through the canyon. Montana's lost riverbed wasn't lost anymore. Yet Freddy and Juan knew the hunt wasn't over. Veins twisted deeper, sub-channels hummed with potential, and hidden caches waited silently. The haul was immense, but the story, the danger, and the thrill were far from finished. Trenches are dug, barriers reinforced, pumps anchored, dredges chained. Every inch of the riverbed is stabilized, every pocket of gold secured. Freddy and Juan document it all. Photographs, coordinates, geological notes, vein mapping, sediment layers. Every detail recorded, not just for history, but for protection. Legal claims are filed, museum plans drafted, investors lined up, and the locals, hired as part of the effort, share pride in the discovery, a legacy cemented in Montana soil. Rivals who once lingered, threatening sabotage, retreat quietly. The ground belongs to those who dared to dig, sweat, and survive. The sun lowers behind jagged peaks, casting orange light across the riverbed. Freddy wipes mud from his brow. Juan checks a final nugget against the assay results. Montana's lost riverbed story spreads like wildfire, becoming legend, folklore, a tale told in pubs, town halls, and mining circles. Investors and historians arrive, notebooks in hand, cameras rolling, eager to document the haul that defied expectations and danger alike. The partially restored riverbed glistens in the fading light, a symbol of persistence, of skill, of courage, meeting opportunity. Yet even as the team steps back, buckets stacked, machinery quiet, eyes scan the water and the mud. Veins twist deeper, shadows hint at untouched riches, the adventure far from over. Freddy and Juan stand side by side, surveying the haul, the river, the canyon echoing with the sweat and shouts of days past. The nuggets shine in the light like captured fire. The river murmurs secrets, and the machines groan in tired relief. Every step, every scoop, every challenge, from rival threats to flash floods, has built the story, the haul, the legend. This is Montana gold the world thought lost. Every local who helped, every crew member who risked injury, every night spent in darkness and mud, they are part of the story now. Documents, photographs, and assays are packed, labeled, filed. Legal teams work in tandem with historians to ensure the find is protected, preserved, and celebrated. Museums will display nuggets, clay layers, and quartz veins, telling the tale of a riverbed that hid wealth for centuries. Investors whisper promises, future ventures sketched in margins. Locals laugh and cheer, knowing the riverbed is part of their heritage now, part of Montana's story forever. As the final machinery is packed, trenches filled, and barriers locked, Freddy bends over one last bucket, weighing a nugget in his palm. Juan measures clay sediment, confirming historical data, cross-referencing centuries of river shifts. The sun dips lower, lighting the canyon in gold and orange, reflections bouncing across water and mud. Shadows stretch long, and even in the quiet, the river hums of veins still untapped, of caches hidden deeper, of gold that waits for those daring enough to dig. The team pauses. Silence for a moment, only the wind over the canyon, the last drip of water from dredges, the sparkle of nuggets stacked high. Freddy and Juan exchange a look. Exhaustion, triumph, anticipation. Montana has its legends now. The riverbed, once lost, now etched into history. Investors take notes, historians scribble, locals smile. Yet the reflection of the sunset in the water hints at more beneath the surface. Veins twisting, waiting, teasing. The haul may be $7.4 million today, but the river whispers of untold riches, of discoveries still secret beneath layers of silt, clay, and stone. Buckets packed, pumps secured, the riverbed rests, glistening with the promise of the future. Freddy and Juan stand at the edge, looking over what they've conquered, what they've uncovered, what they've earned. The sun sets behind them, casting long shadows, highlighting the nuggets glinting like captured sunlight. Montana's lost riverbed has been found, treasures unearthed, legends cemented. Yet even in the glow of victory, eyes scan the mud, the channels, the hidden twists of gold veins, because the river still holds secrets, and the adventure, the hunt, the story, is far from over. Every nugget, every vein, every bucket tells a story of risk, skill, and persistence. Machines quiet now, crew gathering, laughter and exhaustion mixing. But the river hums with potential, veins shimmering in ways only those who dare can see. Freddy and Juan are legends. Montana knows it. The world is watching, and the riverbed, ancient, wild, untamed, holds more than even they can imagine. The haul is monumental, the legacy undeniable, and the promise of hidden veins ensures the story will continue, whispered in mining towns and legends for generations.